You know, when people watch Errol Spence fight right after his car accident, a lot of people say that Errol Spence doesn't look the same. Looks like something's missing, look like he's lagging or whatever and whatnot. And of course, when you say these things from your honest observation, of course, you're going to be accused of being a hater. Of course, you're hating on Errol Spence. Of course, you are a Terrence Bud Crawford fan. Of course, you're just trying to take away any credit from Errol Spence. Well, Errol Spence did a quick interview with Ellie Setback. And Ellie Setback was talking about how he was arguing with Stephen A. Smith. And Stephen A. Smith was saying that Errol Spence doesn't look the same. Okay. And Errol Spence responds to this, and I quote, and he said, "He's correct. I'm not the same. But I'm still, no. He said, of course, I'm not the same. But I'm still a lot better than these other fighters." Okay. I'm going to leave the link in the description box so you can go see it for yourself. So that is Errol Spence openly admitting about himself that he's not the same fighter. So when other people came out and said that he doesn't look like he's the same fighter, it was a sentiment that was shared also by Errol Spence. So when people say this about Errol Spence, all the fanatics, you guys can take a seat, because this came out of your own man's mouth. Okay. Even he says he's not the same. And he said it almost like, of course I'm not the same after that accident. What do you expect? So, of course, people are going to speak on what they see. But yet when you speak on it, you're hating on them. Well, you guys can cancel that out, because even Errol Spence said, I am not the same fighter. Okay, point blank and period. I do admire that honesty, the realness in him about it. I thought that was some fly shit to say, because he didn't sugarcoat it. He ain't bullshit. He just said flat out, of course I'm not the same, you know? And a lot of people think I'll say that to take away from him. I'm actually saying this to give him credit, you know? To feel that you're not the same and still go out and done what he did with Ugas and Danny Garcia and stuff like that. That's something I got to tip my hat to. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not saying nothing about the Terrence Crawford ducking stuff. You know what I'm saying? That still stands for the most part, you know. But although he called them out, but I've done videos on that, Canelo, 55 million and all that other stuff. But when it comes to Errol Spence and how he's looking and his performance and whatever and whatnot, now you can no longer say that it's something that people are just trying to say about Errol Spence because they just want to take away credit from him. Okay. He admits the same thing that we've been seeing. You know what I'm saying? He looks different. Point blank, period. You know? So with that being said, I understand why now he would push for a Terrence Bud Crawford fight or try to fight Canelo. And I think Canelo turning it down was one of the best things that could happen for us to even see this fight come to fruition. You know? So we get a lot of benefits from Canelo Alvarez losing, because at least now everybody's going to have to reconfigure. Okay. Now, if somebody like Jamal Charlo still wants to wait around for Canelo Alvarez, which I seen an interview and he still brings up, Jamal Charlo said he hopes to get a fight with Canelo Alvarez by the end of the year. Okay. See, the problem is a lot of these guys were setting up to chase behind Canelo instead of fighting each other. I understand, you know, you got to feed your family, you chasing a check and whatever and whatnot. But at the end of the day, this thing presents itself as a sport. We know it's a business, but it presents itself as a sport. Since it presents itself as a sport, we're going by the sport's rules and how we think, not how we think, how things should run based off of competition. Now, business and sport is totally different. They actually go in opposite directions. You know what I'm saying? So at the eye of the time, I can understand a little bit of business, But at the same time, you also got to understand a little bit of the sport. You know, a lot of fans look at it from a sport aspect. We're not looking at it from the business aspect. You know, we're forced to look at it from a business aspect now because all these boxers don't want to do nothing but talk business and numbers. And truthfully, it's something that we shouldn't even talk about. These guys' finances, their purses and all that. That's truthfully none of our business. The only thing we should be concerned with is getting the fight. What they get paid is what they get paid. They don't put money in our pocket at the end of the day. You know, so I do understand that, you know, but with that being said, I would think that Eroll Spence, Jamal Charlo, and all the other stuff, I would like to think that they're rerouting and trying to figure something else out, you know? And a lot of it, what it is these guys don't want to put in the work. As far as outside the ring, these guys don't want to put in the work and what it takes to build up a nice profile and a fan base. You know, we would like to believe that you could just go in that ring and throw punches and that's all you need to do. Unfortunately, that's not how boxing works. A lot of these guys just got to work on their personality. Most of the time, the only thing they got to do is just get in front of a camera more, be more exposed, you know? That's basically what it is, because the point is this: as fucked up as Canelo is, and as horrible for the sport as he is, he's one of the main components that kept the sport going. I mean, people may not want to admit this, you know what I'm saying? I'm not a fan of the dude, but I do see why Canelo had to be what he was for so long. Because there's nobody to replace these guys. Boxing is not replacing its people. You know what I'm saying? We don't have fresh meat just coming through the door like that. So in a way, protecting Canelo is kind of like protecting and somewhat preserving boxing. The only thing, it went to a toxic place. And if we wanted to get out of this toxic place, then these fighters are going to have to step up in a different way. And all these people want is a little bit of entertainment. And sometimes it don't mean acting a fool. Sometimes it just means doing more interviews, exposing more of yourself. Let's see more of your life. Give us more of your training camps. Give us more of your personal thoughts. Let's see how you are with your family. Hell, we'll even watch what you're doing on vacation. You know what I'm saying? How did you get there? They can tell stories about how they started boxing. What was their hardest fight? What was their biggest challenge as a boxer? What was something that they had to get over? Who was the first fighter that they feared? All this stuff is stuff that they can put on channels, YouTube and Instagram, and they'll get millions of views. You know what I'm saying? Thousands of hits and stuff like that, because we're interested in these boxers just a little bit beyond them throwing leather. You know, the more they get to see your personality, the more of a fan base that you'll get to grow, because they'll decide, you know what, I like this cat. He may not be the best fighter, but I like him. They'll watch your fight just based off the fight, just based off of the fact that, you know what, I like what he said in that interview, so let me go ahead and check his fight out. It's just about exposing yourself to the people at the end of the day. When you stay closed up and locked up, you know, and you just getting in the ring, fighting and getting out, yeah, as far as the science part, yeah, that is all you need to do, you know, but from an overall, you just need to expose more of yourself. That's basically all it is at the end of the day. And everybody can slowly build up. You know, just don't stop at boxing. Do some guest appearance. Get on the Breakfast Club. Get on this. Hell, get in a few music videos. Do something. The crazy thing is, right, these boxers be having ring walkouts with rappers. You know? And it's a ring walkout. And not only do the rappers get exposure to a different type of crowd who might not necessarily listen to their music. Well, in that case, shit like that actually benefits the boxer. I mean, benefits the rapper more than the boxer. So if they doing your ring walkout and stuff like that, have them put you in a video some damn time. You know what I'm saying? Or have them write your name in a bar. You know, you can know when you arrive when your name end up in a song. You know, all top athletes at one point in time their name end up in a song. You know, Michael Phelps, Kimbo Slice, Mike Tyson, Adrian Broner, Winky Wright, all these boxers have had their names in songs. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, Winky Wright was in Jamie Foxx's video. You know, there's different ways to get exposure at the end of the day, instead of just trying to chase this bum ass Canelo. You know, because he's protected like Fort Knox, and in a way, chasing Canelo is like chasing him to sell out. You know what I'm saying? In a way. But he's already lost now. You know, he's on a decline. Everybody see Canelo for what he is right now. So beating somebody like him to the hardcores, it'll be good for boxing, but it's really not that impressive because he's really not that good. You know what I'm saying? Now, don't get me wrong. Canelo's a good fighter. But as far as that pound for pound #1 and all that other shit, you know, he's nowhere close to it. You know, at the end of the day, these guys just got to expose themselves. And as far as Errol Spence go and his performance and what he looks like, people was just saying what they see. You know what I'm saying? It's not hate, especially when he admits it his damn self. You know, but it's interesting to see where we go from here. That's my quick thoughts on that. I'll holler at y'all later. I'm out.